I promise I will not try to make any cringy Fantastic Four puns in my review, however I cannot promise the exact same for my friends. What's up guys, my name is Ryan, welcome to my channel if you are new here. So in this video, me and my friends Josh and Luke are gonna go see and review one of my most anticipated films of the year, the latest MCU film, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. But first I wanted to give my thoughts kind of going into the film. So I didn't grow up on really any Fantastic Four content. I saw the Fantastic Four in a bunch of other Marvel shows that I watched, but I never really consumed any like solely Fantastic Four focused content growing up. I also haven't seen any of the previous movies that have been released because one, I don't think I've ever really had an opportunity to, or maybe I have, I just didn't care to, and they just look bad. I've seen clips and they just don't look like it does justice to the Fantastic Four. I've heard that some of them had really troubled production, and it really does show from the clips and the trailers that I've seen for those. But I'm confident that the MCU can finally do it right and do these characters justice like they have been doing for years and years. I know the MCU has had a lot of issues for people in recent years, myself included, but it really does look like they are trying to get back on track and that they are heading in the right direction. Their previous release, Thunderbolts, which is actually my favorite film of the year so far, I really loved that film. I thought it was a big step in the right direction for Marvel, and I'm confident that this will be the same. I've heard nothing but positive reviews about the film. From the trailers, it looks like the cast is absolutely perfect and nails their roles. The only one I'm kind of worried about is Pedro Pascal. I'm not sure he was the best fit for Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic, but I'm sure he won't do a bad job. I'm just not sure if he's the best guy for the role. But maybe once I see the film, I'll be like, oh, Pedro Pascal, he is Reed Richards. But that's just kind of my thoughts going into this film, so now let's head over to the theater. Josh, Luke, and I will watch the film, and then we'll give our reviews after. We'll see y'all there.
Reviews.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Ryan?
We just got out of the Fantastic Four: First Steps. Who wants to go first? Non-spoiler thoughts to start off. Then we can talk spoilers if we want.
Most of them, so Luke, I'm gonna let you go first this time.
I didn't really actually have much to say about this film. It seemed a lot calmer in the first half than I anticipated. It didn't really appeal to my emotions all that crazily, to be honest. So those are my non-spoiler thoughts. On to Josh.
Okay.
Go there.
Josh, what'd you think of the Fantastic Four?
I thought that this film was the best comic book film I've seen this year, easily. I actually think really easily.
Better than Thunderbolts?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
I thought this film was superior in every single way.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
This film actually had a pretty consistent plot thread, whereas Thunderbolts at times felt like it went from one place to another place, then to another place.
Okay, fair enough.
And it didn't know exactly what it wanted to be until like the middle point of that film. Like, yeah, Bob was a big part of it, but I think at the end of the day with Bob, it was so different. But with this film, it was very consistent. It starts out by introducing you to who these people are, and then you get an idea for the plot pretty early on, and it carries all the way through. And so I genuinely enjoyed the heck out of this film. I think that so this is non-spoiler part, right?
Yes.
So I think whenever we get into the spoiler part, I think that'll be able to explain maybe like my one gripe with the film.
Okay.
But I mean, aside from this one gripe, I think that this film was easily a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film.
Wow.
It was stupidly good. Yeah, it was just amazing.
So, it was, overall, I think it was a good movie. It, I would say, met my expectations, but it didn't, like, exceed them. I'm kind of with Luke, where it wasn't as emotional as I thought it would be. But, not to say that it's, like, emotionless, but I was expecting it to be much more emotionally powerful than it actually ended up being, because it is about this family. And that's one great thing about this film, is the Fantastic Four do feel like a family. They are Marvel's first family. All the actors did a really great job. Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss-Backrack, Joseph Quinn, and Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal, I mentioned I was worried about a little bit heading into this film, but they all fit their roles very well. I enjoyed all four of them. It was pretty funny at points, and also I think it was I know a common criticism of Marvel movies recently has been like it's been too comedic and not serious enough. And this one, I feel like it was maybe a bit too serious at points. Like, I don't want to say that because it's not like I'm saying like, oh, go back to like when it's all comedic, because I hate when it's all comedic and it doesn't take it seriously at all. And I prefer this to having a film. I would rather have a film be overly serious than overly comedic, but it just didn't have that. I felt like it didn't have that balance of the comedy and the seriousness. So maybe that's why it wasn't like why I'm not super high on it, because I didn't feel like they added the right amount of like levity and fun to it. I felt like it was a pretty serious film most of the time, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think just overall, just a solid entry into the MCU. I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think that's all my non-spoiler thoughts. I'll be more specific with my spoiler thoughts, but I think that's all I have to say for non-spoiler wise. So let's go around this round table here and get spoiler thoughts. Who wants to start out with spoiler
I'll
thoughts?
start.
Yeah,
But it'll
okay.
be very short and sweet.
Okay.
So I think what Ryan said about there being maybe too seriousness and not enough comedy, I agree. And I think I only laughed really once in the film. That's when that one of the characters said he had finally, when he had was one chance with the lady turned out to be on the evil side of this film.
Yeah. I remember you actually laughing out loud right next to me.
That was the one time I did.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan talks about balance of seriousness and comedy. It did way too much on the serious side in this film. Yeah, probably.
Now, granted,
At least 6 out of 10. Not less than 6, but I don't really think it was all up there either. Those are my thoughts. But thanks for the movie, and thanks for the reviews.
yeah, of course, man. Thank you for giving your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Josh. Spoiler thoughts for you, my friend.
So, I'm gonna go into a lot of detail here with the spoiler thoughts.
Yeah, please
So
do.
I actually felt like this film was very funny. The thing was,
I agree.
Well, I think it's a lot funnier than you even. I think it was actually perfectly balanced. Like, I disagree with the assertion that it was
Okay.
like one way or the other. I think that the reason it didn't feel as funny is because the audience was just too stupid to not laugh at parts that were really funny.
Oh.
Like, I really do mean that. Like, the audience did not pick up some of the humor, and like some of the humor was like genuinely funny, and the audience just didn't.
Do you remember an
it.
example?
There was too many examples. Like, I saw it happen way too many times for me to even count. I could count.
Oh, you can't remember one?
Yeah,
joke?
it was like
okay.
it was like 15 different times I've seen it happen.
Ah, okay.
It was a lot of times where it was like that was way funnier than the audience gave that credit for.
Okay.
Like, and it was like in the slight nuances of the writing of the film. Like, Johnny Storm would provide a offhand comment that was very quiet, but if you caught what he said, it was very funny what he was saying. And I felt like the audience was just kind of like these freaking ADHD kids out here don't pick up on that crap. These screen kids are out here not picking up on this stuff.
These iPad
These iPad
what
kids.
the Sigma kids.
Yeah, these iPad brain rot kids, man. These Minecraft movie loving children, man. Because that stuff was genuinely good, and so I felt like the balance was really good. As far as the story goes, I do like the fact that it was more serious. I feel like that's what Marvel needed. Marvel needed a film that was not like their other films.
Yes.
And
yes.
the thing is that Marvel because Brave New World was kind of in the same mold of like previous Marvel films, and then Thunderbolts, you started to shift away from that mold. Like, it felt like its own thing, and it felt very different than other Marvel
like fresh
films.
and original.
Yeah, very fresh and original. And then Fantastic Four felt like this is completely a new direction. It's like almost they were listening to James Gunn whenever he was like, "Yeah, we gotta figure this crap out because this dude's kind of killing the game right now. And we probably should do what he does, which is he basically just makes his own unique style." And so they shot this film in a very unique way. I love just I don't know. I love the warm feeling that this film gives me with the way that it cuts to the to the world, like different parts of the world. It cuts to the community.
Mm-hmm.
A big theme, obviously, of this film is community coming together for a common goal. Obviously, their goal was to fight Galactus, and they come together beautifully and work together towards that common goal. Also, a big concern I had going into this film was that maybe it was going to be too woke. But I think the film actually made a lot more sense as you watch it, is that Reed Richards is definitely the brain of the operation, and so he doesn't really think from this emotional standpoint, and he doesn't really give a crap about that stuff. He's just like, I gotta figure out a solution. I gotta find something that works with this. Whereas Sue Storm, being this humanitarian type person, made a lot more sense and actually fit the bill for someone who would try to build consensus, someone who would get people to get on the same page. And so I thought that played really well. So I really love the characters. I think what would you call him? What's his character name? The Rock or the Thing?
The Thing.
The Thing. Yep. The Thing. The Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh gosh.
But the Thing, the 1970s horror film.
Oh god.
But being serious, the Thing was a great character. Johnny Storm was a great character. Sue Storm was a great character. Reed Richards was a great character.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I even like I just like the supporting cast too. Even the PR manager of the Fantastic Four, Ted Gilbert, was obviously a really great character, and he added a lot of levity to the whole thing. And then Galactus himself, like as a character, really well done, and the actor that played him, perfect. I don't know, that was just like
Ralph Ineson.
Ralph Ineson did a really dang good job as Galactus.
Oh yeah.
Now, with all that being said, here's where my one critique comes in, and I think it is the most BS of all time. It is straight plot convenience. Because actually, everything that happened in this film, up until the very end of the film, like the last 10% of the film, was pretty, like, this is realistically what would happen. Like, realistically, they'd have to run from Galactus. Realistically, they have zero shot against this guy, and they're going to get cooked. And so they have to figure out a solution that basically says, we got to get this guy away from us, or we got to get away from this guy. Which honestly, it makes you think. I think they're going to set up Galactus. They're going to either, well, we know Doom is obviously the next big bad, and he's going to be the guy who runs Secret Wars and Doomsday and all this stuff, right? But I really hope that they, after Secret Wars, make Galactus like the big bad. Because he was, and honestly, I think they kind of dropped the ball by not making him the big bad of the new MC post-Infinity Saga from the get-go. Because he's like the biggest of the big bads. He's like an undefeatable big bad. You really have to come up with a crazy solution to beat him. You know what is not a solution? Sue Storm using her powers on Galactus should not have worked at all.
Yeah, that's one thing for me. I was like, okay, is she really that powerful?
Yeah, no, she's not. It's not that she's not that powerful, it's that Galactus literally crapped on everybody. Like, Galactus crapped on Sue Storm prior to that. So where does Sue Storm get up? And the only thing I can think of is it's like some maternal instinct thing.
Yeah.
Where you have, like, you know how they say, like, sometimes you can, a pregnant mom or a mom can lift a car to save her children.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was that type of stuff going on there. Yeah. And I think that's okay. That makes sense. But not against Galactus. Because Galactus is the strongest thing that exists in the Marvel. Like, actually, statistically, I think Marvel has this whole thing on their page. He is statistically, like, the strongest thing that exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The only way you can beat him, really, is with brawn. Or with brains. Sorry, with brains. Which is why Reed Richards, I think, had the big dub, because Reed Richards had this whole idea of like, okay, this is how we're gonna beat this guy. And you know, you might say, well, there's a lot of plot convenience with Reed Richards and how he's able to come up with this crap like out of nowhere. But see, I'm not perplexed by that, because Reed Richards is supposed to be the smartest guy that exists in the MCU.
Yes.
So Reed Richards should be able to come up with this, like them going into space and being able to enter into light speed like that. I'm not surprised. Like, that's something I feel like that he would have figured out.
Yeah.
Also, the black hole thing, I feel like that's something he would have figured out and he would have been okay with. Even though you could say, well, the science doesn't check out. Well, for him it does, and in this MCU universe of this of this Earth, it definitely does. So, I think that's my only critique, is that Sue Storm should not have been able to push Galactus like that, and I felt like that was like one of those girl boss things that was happening there too.
Potentially, maybe. Yeah.
Well, it definitely was. They like Reed Richards is the face of the Fantastic Four.
He's the leader, yeah.
As you've seen, like when he speaks on the Ted Gilbert show, or when he gave the press conference, he is the person who is the lead.
Yes.
But they give Sue Storm this dramatic payoff, and they really make Sue Storm the one. But and like I said, I didn't actually have a problem with Sue Storm being the main focus, because the whole thing revolved around her baby, so it made sense. Except in that moment, not because the girl boss part, but because Sue Storm is just not. Dude, you're not beating Galactus. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like you're getting cooked. Like he's killing you instantly. Like you seen the way he did Reed Richards with pulling that man apart. Like that made me cringe sitting in my seat. Like just like, ooh, he's gonna kill that man. and then Reed Richards fell from like this crazy distance. He should have died because he technically got dropped from.
Well, his bones are all like rubbery.
Oh, I guess so. He doesn't feel
so
that.
I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay, then that's not as big of an issue. But still, the whole thing with like, okay, he threw the thing like into space. That checked out. Like he's that strong, he can throw the thing into space. But then when he hits Sue Storm's car, Sue Storm only gets like some concussive damage or something. You know what I mean? Like
I see what you're saying.
He smacked her car.
I see it.
And he just threw the thing into space.
Mm-hmm.
And he hits this car with his hand, bare hand, full speed, and her car doesn't blow up instantly. What the crap are we doing? But that's like the only thing. But I mean, it's plot convenience, and it's gonna happen in any film that deals with superheroes. Basically, there's gonna be some form of plot convenience.
There's always some level.
Because quite frankly, that's also in like the comic books. There's plot convenience that happens. So so I actually don't get. I'm not too bothered by it. But I think that's like one of the only things. Like the whole thing with Sue Storm pushing back Galactus like that. That's my only detractor. It's like, why the crap was Sue Storm able to push Galactus like that? Like. And I do like the fact that they didn't just straight up defeat Galactus. Like they actually they're like, we literally can't beat this guy. This guy is going to cook us all. We gotta get this guy out. We gotta get this guy out of here. He's gonna cook them all. And then I think the only other thing is like the design of the Silver Surfer. I don't know how I felt about it. I felt it was like okay, but it wasn't my favorite design. I think. I don't mind what happens at the end with her being the one that sacrifices herself, pushing Galactus into the light, into the void, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's still one of those things where it's like, I think it'd actually been cool if one of the characters died. That's just me personally. I thought it'd been cool.
Yeah.
But it's a Marvel film. They're probably not gonna die. They're probably.
Yeah.
And with the whole Doomsday thing coming up, like, oh yeah, let's talk about, pivoting here. That was my thoughts on the film. Talking about this after credits scene though. What the crap was Doom? How did Doom get there? You think that's like some Secret Wars type crap?
See, here's what I'm thinking. Is that a scene in Avengers Doomsday?
Well, I don't think it's a scene in Avengers Doomsday because
but Marvel's done that type of stuff before. They'll show you a scene from a future movie and as a post-credits scene.
Well, you know, there's some weird crap going on here. Something's up with this baby that's like just obviously OP or something, right? And this baby's a pretty big focal point of whatever is coming next, right? But what state is Doom in that state to where Doom can get in there? Also, it makes me think about the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. Like, how does that crap relate? When, like, the ship is flying through their universe? Like, what the crap is happening there? And could it have something to do with Doom? Like, did Doom do something in that universe that made them have to leave?
I don't know. We'll have to wait till Doomsday to see, I guess.
Well, have you actually read the Secret War comic book at all?
No, I've never read it, but I know like the plot of it.
Okay, do you know God Emperor Doom as a character?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wonder if that was like I don't think that was God Emperor Doom, by the way, because that only happens in Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But it still makes me question. It's like how powerful, like how freaking powerful is Doom in that freaking Doomsday movie? Like, are they gonna make this dude? Because the thing about it, they scrapped Kang, and Kang was like easily a top 5 strongest character in the MCU history, if you ask me from a comics perspective.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna explain away why he's not the big
Yeah.
bad anymore.
Yeah, and then Galactus is the strongest big bad of all of them, and now they're gonna make Doom the big bad. See what I'm saying? It's like, how are they gonna present Doom in such a way to where he is the biggest of the baddest? And I think the whole thing is obviously the God Emperor gimmick, because that is probably the strongest character in the MCU. That's probably stronger than Galactus because of his God Emperor status. But yeah, those are just some of my spoiler thoughts. I really like this film. Like, it's my favorite comic book hero film of probably the last 5 years. I can't remember seeing a better comic hero film than this.
Better than Guardians Volume 3?
No, actually, now you say it, no, I wouldn't say it's better than Guardians Volume 3, but I think Guardians Volume 3 is better than anything else I've ever seen. I think Guardians Volume 3 is like best comic book film ever. Like, borderline. It's like teetering there. But this film is up there for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely go check it out. That's all my thoughts. Sorry for being long-winded.
That's okay. Now, if you don't mind getting my thunks real quick, my spoiler thunks. All right. So, first thing spoiler-wise is this film just felt like like a classic Fantastic Four comic book come to life. There's actually a shot in this film where it's like if you take a snapshot of that shot, it's like a comic book, classic Fantastic Four comic book cover. And they also make a lot of references to a lot of Fantastic Four villains that we don't see appear in the film, but it's nice to know they have this rogues gallery out there that they can explore in later films, like the Red Ghost, like the Wizard, like the Puppet Master. I just love all the Easter eggs and name drops. Going to Galactus, Ralph Ineson did a great job. He was and they made him, Marvel actually made him look like Galactus, not like that cloud from whatever movie it was. I didn't see it, but I heard things, and I was just like, Marvel, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He wasn't just a cloud man.
Yeah, he's actually like very intimidating and very cool looking. And
His
he looks
voice
like,
was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was scary. And he looks like he does in the comics. Gosh. Oh, now I want to see you dress up like Galactus, Josh. No. Now that we can talk about spoilers, I can more so talk about my problems with the film now. So, overall, it is enjoyable, but this didn't bother me too much. But, like, when Invisible Woman is pushing back Galactus into the portal, I did kind of go, like, is she really that powerful? But I guess, like, the maternal mother strength came
That kind of
out.
don't mean nothing to a Galactus, though. That shouldn't mean anything.
And then I guess she like exerted all her energy and she kind of died trying to get him to the portal. So I guess that makes sense. And then also just like, I know this is a thing in the comics that Franklin Richards is like one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe in the comics. I don't remember why. I'd have to go back and look. But see, I looked it up, why he's so powerful, but I forgot, probably because I just didn't buy it, because he's the son of a guy with stretchy powers and a girl with invisible powers, so he should have both or one of those powers, right? But he doesn't have either of those powers in the comics from memory, and he's like one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe, and it's like, why? That doesn't genetically make sense. Why is he so powerful? And that's the reason Galactus wants him, because he said he has the power of Cosmic, and it's like, how do you get the power of Cosmic? So there's just some things in this film like that just aren't explained, that maybe they'll explain in Doomsday or in a sequel or something like that. So I don't know if I can dock too many points for that, because they might explain it later. But I don't know, that just felt a bit weird. I actually didn't mind using the Shala Ball version of the Silver Surfer. I would have preferred Norrin Rad, but Julia Garner didn't do a bad job or anything, and I like how she kind of turns against Galactus and helps push him through the portal at the end. But then I was like, wait a minute, she just betrayed Galactus. Is he not gonna go and try to eat her planet now? Like, what are they gonna do? And the Fantastic Four said that like sending him away is only gonna stop him for like what, 1 million years? So what are they gonna do when he comes back in 1 million years? Like, So, like, in a sequel or something, are they gonna try and help save Shalabal's planet and try to stop Galactus permanently? Because I know how they stop him in the comics, and it's not how they stop him here. So I wonder if, like, if he comes back, if, like, they'll stop him by sending him to the negative zone like they do in the comics. So there's just a lot of things, a decent amount of things in this film that I'm just like, do they purposely leave it unexplained? Or does that just flat out not make sense and they're not going to explain it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's another minor thing, but it's like, I felt kind of weird them using Franklin as bait. Did anyone else feel weird about that a little bit? Like, he's a baby. Like, I understand it's the only way, but it still feels a bit weird because he's a baby. And, like, Sue Storm going up into space while she's pregnant when she could potentially die. Like, it's Galactus. Like,
Yeah, but they didn't know how strong Galactus was, though.
that's the problem, though. They don't know what Galactus is, and they're
Yeah, but
just
they're not
letting
thinking. But they're not thinking. Oh, this dude's gonna be like the strongest freaking thing that exists in existence. You know what I mean? Like, you're not expecting that.
I guess so.
Because they're thinking, oh, we can because you have to think, up until this point, they've been able to reason and have, like, good efforts with everything that they fought.
That's true, because they did show that with Mole Man.
Yeah, so they think that they can basically conquer anything.
And then they got a harsh reality check. Oh, we literally
That's
can't.
true.
We can't do this.
But I just felt like it was really weird having a pregnant Sue go up into space. Like, that's super dangerous.
Yeah, so the thing I would say about the Franklin situation, like when they put him on the middle part.
The only thing I felt weird about that thing with.
Here, let me...
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I felt weird about it with was the fact that Sue was so adamantly opposed to that crap, and she didn't feel good about it even when Reed
Well, that was
proposed it again.
understandable, but at the same time... See, this is a weird situation because it's like, okay, it's the only way, but it's like sacrificing a baby potentially.
Yeah, but they weren't but the thing is, it was a whole bait. Like, it's like, the way you gotta think about it, I think, is my whole thing was like my big problem was the fact that Sue Storm was so adamantly against it from the very get-go, and then Sue Storm was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna do it. And I'm like, okay, that's plot convenience, because she hated that crap. And mind you, I think she just realized.
I think she just realized they had to use him as bait.
But I think it's like a Doctor Strange scenario where it's like you only see one way forward. You know what I mean? Like, there's only, out of all these millions of different things that could happen, this is the only way that it works.
Yeah.
And you know that they're obviously not gonna sacrifice him, and they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, Franklin's gonna be fine.
Yeah, Franklin's gonna be fine. And they had they immediately set that plan into motion, but then obviously it went south, and that's why it sucked. Because the thing was, if they did it, because here's the harshest truth: if they don't do it, he's just sucking up the planet with the ship. Period.
Right.
Like he's just killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's cooked.
And he's taking the baby.
And he's taking
anyway.
the baby. So you have to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like the general theme is like sacrifice the baby.
Yeah. I don't think so. But there's just some moments where it kind of feels that way, and it's just like, oof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I'd say it's like the baby. I thought was almost like metaphorical for like Jesus in a lot of ways. I was like, is there something about Jesus in this baby? Like the fact that this is, this is the savior of the universe, and something about that was like I was trying to think of something. I was like, and then but then in that post credit scene they showed some crap, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
it's not what I thought. It's not.
Okay.
Who cares about this baby? Who cares about?
Bruh.
I hope Dr. Doom cooks that baby.
No, don't say that. We don't want Robert Downey Jr. to do that.
Got him for Doom. I don't know, bro. His mind is crooked. he might just vaporize that baby.
Oh gosh.
Franklin Richard too.
No, but he's like super powerful. He's gonna like be the reason they stop God Emperor Doom or something.
Oh, it's Frank. Oh god, that baby stopping God Emperor Doom would be the worst thing. That's the worst timeline. That would be the worst thing that ever happened. I hope that they don't do that gimmick. Oh, the power of family. Like Don Toretto's gonna show up from the back or something. Like you're gonna see Vin Diesel.
Family.
He's gonna show up and be like, family, you're gonna see all these cars start driving in, and they're gonna stop God Emperor Doom.
Bruh, Secret Wars and Doomsday are gonna be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here, let me say a couple more things and then let's wrap this up because we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
So overall, another solid, really enjoyable entry in the MCU. I think my biggest issue with the film is this is personally, I think I just went into it with too big expectations, so maybe I think on rewatch it'll definitely go up, but I think I was just expecting this to be a great film, and it was just a good one. So I think that's just the main problem, but for now I'm going to keep it at just, I think a safe 7 out of 10, but it definitely could go up. I loved that it kind of takes place on its own separate Earth, and I love the reference to Jack Kirby, the creator of the Fantastic Four, with the Earth number that they chose. Love the look of the film. The retro 60s futuristic city vibe was really refreshing and helped make the film really stand out. Like you said, Josh, that's something Marvel's really needed. So overall, I would say definitely go see this if you're a MCU, Marvel, Fantastic Four fan. I haven't seen all the other Fantastic Four films, but I still think I can say this is easily the best Fantastic Four film. Josh, have you seen all the other Fantastic Four
Yeah,
films?
this is by far and away.
Yeah,
The fact that they got the Thing correct.
Yeah, and Galactus.
Yeah, but the Thing more specifically, because the Thing was like...
Freaking shocked. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was just like, oh gosh, this thing is so much better.
Yeah.
Honestly, all of them were.
It's the most comic accurate looking thing. Looks straight out of the comics. But thank y'all for watching our Fantastic Four First Steps review. Like, subscribe if you enjoy our content. Subscribe right over here, and then right here you can watch our Thunderbolts review from, I think, 2 months ago. And then right here is a playlist of all my MCU videos. You can hopefully find another MCU-related video in there that you enjoy. Let us know down below what you thought of Fantastic Four if you've seen it. And with that, I think we'll see y'all in the next video.